Welcome to the Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. Today, we are live on the air from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., asking for your financial support and sharing the great work of various ministries, authors, speakers, clergy, and local radio hosts that impact our local Charlotte community. Carolina Catholic Media Network is 100% listener supported, and we need your financial support to continue broadcasting the truth of Jesus Christ. Call 1-800-857-2909. That's 1-800-857-2909 to make your tax-deductible pledge. Operators are standing by right now to take your call, or you can donate online at carolinacatholicmedia.org. Thank you for your loyal listenership. We hope you enjoy this special Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon program. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special Share-A-Thon here on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. My name is Bill Snyder, and it's been a joy to be with you and hosting this Share-A-Thon here on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. We're so excited that you can be a part of this. We're so excited that you can help keep Carolina Catholic Media Network on the air, online, and on demand. All you have to do is go to carolinacatholicmedia.org and donate online, or you can call 1-800-857-2909. Again, 1-800-857-2909 to donate online. Folks, it's so critical that we keep Carolina Catholic Media on the air, online, and on demand, because it is one of those few radio stations, those few Catholic radio stations that has so much local programming. You can only find it right here on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. You can't get it anywhere else. And we're going to be, as we have been doing, showcasing amazing ministries, amazing local people who are doing incredible things, not just in our community, but across the country. And so I am so very blessed to be joined right now by Kerri and Ken Davison. They are the founders of Holy Heroes. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Carolina Catholic Media Network Share-A-Thon.
Thank you for having us. We're glad to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be an awesome conversation. So first and foremost, I just would like to find out, what is Holy Heroes?
Holy Heroes, we're a kind of a multimedia publisher. We do free online adventures. We publish books and DVDs, but our real primary flagship product are audio saint stories called Glory Stories that we've been producing for 15 years or so now.
That's awesome. Share with us a little bit about what those Glory Stories are and how best they reach people.
They're dramatized saint stories. So they're the true life stories of the saints, and they're dramatized, all sound effects and music, but none of this silly music that dads can't handle listening to. Nice classical music, everything to keep the story going along and keep kids interested. But they're all different casts. So children learn the faith by hearing the true life story of the faith lived out. So we started with Blessed Imelda, who's the patroness of First Communicants. She's Italian, so you have a lot of Italian accents there. And then we did Saint Juan Diego and Our Lady Guadalupe. So you got the Mexican accents, and we've done John Paul II, Saint Faustina, Mother Teresa, all the way up to Blessed Carlo Acutis, who's a new saint. He was beatified in 2020. Died in 2006, so he grew up in the same sort of high-tech world that all the kids live in right now. But as I said, they're all different casts, they're all different accents, and they get to listen to the true life stories, what really happened in the lives of these saints. And it touches their hearts and then gets into their imaginations as they listen.
Yeah, that's fascinating. It really is. That these, dramatized stories can reach into the hearts of young people, and give them a model to follow, right? Give them heroes to follow. So, Kerri, tell us a little bit about how you guys, the why you guys founded this.
Why? Well, part of this is just raising your family. I mean, actually, all of this is just raising your family. And, this is about bringing the joy of the faith into your family. And this is the same thing with, Catholic radio, is that we have so much secular media, everything, so many children's books that are secular, so much audio, video that's all secular. And, even good Catholics, it's hard to raise your children with Catholic ideas and Catholic theology and Catholic family life, because there's not a lot of it there, and you need to find it and incorporate it into your family. And that's why we started doing this. Glory Stories was, we actually found that our little children we used the words of the saints, and our little children started memorizing the words of the saints, and they started repeating it back to us. We're like, this is absolutely amazing. So when you listen to a glory story, a lot of the dialogue, of course, not the ancient saints, but the more modern saints, where we actually have the writings, the actual words that come out of the saints' mouths are actually what they actually said. And so that really inspired us. And I think and then our online adventures were that when we're raising our children, we don't know a lot. We didn't know. And we went around finding things out. And it was a lot of work to find out what is actual Lent, and how do we practice Lent, and how do we practice Advent, and what do we do in our family? I'm not just talking about what happens in the church. Of course, that's, a big part of it, but also, what do you do in your family? What does your family life look like? And prayers. How do you teach your kids prayers? What are the most important prayers to teach little children? And use their power of the ability to memorize, small children to, memorize their prayers. And so that's how this all started. And that's why we continue doing it.
It's so beautiful. It really, I'm so impressed with just that simple mission. It really is a simple mission, but it's a profound mission. And stories have the power, especially, beautiful stories and true stories have the power just to change hearts and move them closer to our Lord, right? Yes. Giving those people steps, young people steps to follow Him. And so, can you talk a little bit about, some of the upcoming? I mean, do you have like upcoming saints that you want to, delve into and keep doing, or how many saints have you covered so far?
I think we're over 24 varying lengths of stories. Pope St. John Paul II was long. It was a double or quadruple length story because he lived a long time. Whereas, some of the other saints, they're shorter. So in fact, Carolina Catholic Media will be playing these stories weekly. They haven't announced the dates and the days and the times of the week, but we're happy to offer these because it's a fantastic thing for children, and as my wife was saying, for the families. They remember the things that the saints said. A great example is Saint Joan of Arc. I mean, she's even Mark Twain made the comment, we have her life under oath 3 different times. There were 3 different investigations and trials, and we have all the transcripts of those trials and people who knew her testifying about her. So we know what she said, what she did. And in that story, we highlight, perseverance, because that's really what she did. She kept persevering over against all obstacles. And we got a phone call once from a mother saying, my young child got hurt in the backyard, fell out of the swing. His tooth went through his lip. He was bleeding all over the place. I had to put him in his car seat and drive him to the emergency room. And she says, and I'm driving and I hear him kind of whimpering, and then I hear him saying something. And she says, I pulled up to a stoplight and I turned down the fan in the car so I could hear what he was saying. And he was saying, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And she said, that was from the St. Joan of Arc glory story. He'd listen to the story. You don't have to explain it. The children think about it and ponder it in their imagination. So he applied it to his life and to what was actually happening, without going into this explanation to make it relevant. They're inspired by what they hear, and that's really what we've done. So we have a number of saints coming. The most recent one we did is Blessed Carlo Acutis. He died when he was 15. teen saint. He created this website of all the Eucharistic miracles. But that was written by a woman who's bilingual, English and Italian. And she did extensive interviews with his mother, with Blessed Carlo's mother, and the postulator of the cause, and the Archbishop of Assisi. So that this story is profound, because you hear a child, he lived his whole life as a child and a young teenager. So this obviously hits the children, and our eldest daughter said that our 3.5-year-old granddaughter is already going around the house quoting that glory story from what she heard.
Yeah, Carlo Acutis, blessed Carlo Acutis, soon to be saint, right? Folks, if you don't know that story, I encourage you to look it up and listen to it on Holy Heroes, right? holyheroes.com. I mean, it's a fascinating and beautiful story of a modern day saint. As you mentioned, he died in 2006, so it's pretty incredible what our Lord is doing through the lives of the saints. And I want to ask you, a little bit about, obviously this is audio, and I think one of the most beautiful things about audio is that it leaves open the imagination, right? We see so much presented on screens. Even right now, we're putting this up on a screen, and people can see what's behind us, and they don't have to imagine the library. They don't have to imagine the studio. But when you are listening on the radio, like some of our listeners, they can't see that. So how do these stories leave open that imagination for young children to kind of explore and enter into, but still have the dramatized effect of the emotion and everything?
I actually think imagination is one of the most underrated parts of our bodies, of our minds.
Is there a body? Angels don't have imagination.
Yeah. So this is a part that God gave us to really enter into the spiritual life. And I think for children, we try to, the modern world tries to block that out because everything is video. And I like videos, and we make videos. Actually, we've made a couple that are excellent, but really it too much of it is very bad. And we've learned that, people now study it in psychology classes and everything, and they can tell you how it destroys your attention span, and how and in many ways it wrecks a kid's imagine. I'm not saying wrecks, but it's not as powerful as audio. If you have audio, you have to use your own mind to picture this. You have to imagine this. And I actually think it actually enters deeper into a child's imagination when it's audio, because they have to really work, and this really goes deep into their minds. It's kind of like hearing, I'm not saying this is the same, but you hear scripture at church when you're listening to the mass, and when you're hearing the scriptures read, you really have to pay attention and think about what's being said to you. And the same thing when you hear things, it's a different experience than visual. However, I mean video. I think visual is very, very important as well, because, for example, we just did a book. We also publish books, and we did it specifically for small children with the creed and magnificent artwork to associate the words of the prayer with the beautiful Catholic artwork, that the church has.
It was the creed. It was the creed in sacred art. So every phrase of the creed has a classic art, a piece of art zoomed in. It's a detail of every piece of art. So we're trying to introduce this beauty of the faith to the children and give them something to ponder
in their minds
as they hear each phrase.
So that's also activating the imagination. And so what I'm saying is it's very powerful, and it's often neglected, and or even if it's not neglected, it's not recognized.
I think every parent realizes, when you're a little child, you read picture books, and children like to be read to because they can't read, but they're looking at things, but they're still engaged in their imagination, as every parent knows. Then the child gets older, and you reach a point where you're doing read aloud, but you're reading not a picture book. You're reading Chronicles of Narnia or something, for instance. And the children just like listening to this. and they're taking what they hear into their imagination with their experiences and knowledge. Whereas when you're watching a video, you're getting the imagination of the producer or the director or the animator or something. Here's my imagined image. And you look at it and you kind of passively accept it. So that's what I think is so fantastic about audio. And that's why we do these glory stories audio, because a little child listens to it with their understanding of the faith. And the reason we're meticulous about the true life stories and the words of the saints is because I'm the dad in the car listening to this over and over again, and I'll hear it at a different level. Yes. Based on my experience and knowledge of the faith. And so these continue to touch people in ways that that you can't get with video, where it's someone else's imagination pondering.
Yeah, that's amazing. And let me tell you, it's going to be amazing that Carolina Catholic Media is going to be airing these on 1270 AM as well. You talked about that earlier. We're going to get you the times. We're going to get you the availability of that. But the reality is, folks, that bringing this type of media to the public is so important. And so I want you to talk a little bit about the importance of and the role that Catholic radio can play in the lives of young people as well, children. And what does that say, when a family is driving around Charlotte listening to 1270 AM, in addition to all the great content you're producing?
Yeah. Well, I actually think radio is huge, because I, for decades now, have driven around with kids in my car with the radio on, or with, well, in our case, family too, like listening to glory stories. But I actually think that that's part of the world that Catholics neglect, that they're in the car with their kids and there's something playing. And this is the perfect captive audience to get information into them in a way that they don't even realize this is happening, and it's becoming just part of their culture. So rather than having the radio on and listening to who knows what music, whatever music or whatever talk show or whatever's coming through that may or may not be a good thing, or maybe just nothing, listen to Catholic radio and your kids will pick up. They'll start memorizing the prayers. They'll start hearing these conversations. And it's just amazing what your family starts to absorb just from living your life.
Yeah. I'm a convert. My wife is a revert, and Catholic radio played a big part in that. In that you listen to the shows, you listen to questions and answers, and
Yes.
And commentary on things going on to kind of inform you about a Catholic worldview and what do Catholics really do, and why do they mean it. You find out that how rational it is and how it all makes sense. But so when we got into this a dozen or so years ago, we were involved in the Catholic Radio Association and things like that, because people are often alone. They're just surfing around in the car. This is the time when you can actually be alone and confront truth and reality, and being able to go through click, looking for something that's interesting. Catholic radio is there. It needs to be there. It needs to be out for people to find it. And then when they do, that's the opportunity for you to get away from really the noise, get away from worrying about what you look like to other people and what other people might be thinking. This is, you can be alone in your car, listening, thinking, pondering, and that's when you really can meet God, who's trying to speak to you. So we've always thought that radio is important, always played a part in radio. And as I said, in our conversion and my wife's reversion, the availability of Catholic radio and radio shows, that was a very important part of our conversions.
That's so awesome and so wonderful to hear. And so folks, we need your support, right? Like, this is one of the biggest things that we need right now is your financial support to keep impacting lives, just like Ken was talking about, right? Ken, he just told you, right? Like this was one of the things that helped him in his conversion to the Catholic faith. There are other people driving around Charlotte right now listening to 1270 AM. You're one of them, right? And we need you to, give your best gift to Carolina Catholic Media, whatever that is, whatever that looks like, your best gift to us to help us keep Carolina Catholic Media on the air, online, and on demand, right? So the number to do that, 1-800-857-2909. Again, 1-800-857-2909. And make your best gift. Operators are standing by right now to take your phone call. And in addition to that, you can donate online. So if you're driving, you don't want to pull over and talk to somebody and pull your credit card out right now. You don't have to do that. You can go online when you get home, carolinacatholicmedia.org. Again, carolinacatholicmedia.org or 1-800-857-2909. You can also donate in our mobile app. Maybe you're listening in the mobile app right now to this Share-A-Thon Live. If you can go right into that donate tab and click it and donate right now as well. So Kerri and Ken, thank you so very much. Before we go, please tell people how they can find you, how they can subscribe, all of that good stuff. We want to make sure that we get we get people signing up to be Holy Heroes.
You go to holyheroes.com. and that'll get you to our website, and you'll see it's the store, but it's also access, as Kerri was saying, to our various online adventures that are all free. And we have weekly mass prep as well that you can just subscribe to. And if you want to get more information about Blessed Carlo Acutis, you go to holyheroes.com/Carlo. And we have a variety of things for all ages. We have a coloring book, which includes his kit. He devised a kit to become a saint when he was doing catechesis for kids when he was 12 or 13 years old. The Glory Story, which is a fantastic story. And then the author of that Glory Story also wrote a book for ages 11 to 15 that we just published. All sorts of pictures. This is real. You can see all the places he went. You can see the people he interacted with. His junior high friends were at his beatification. And it's just a fantastic resource. But the other thing I'm going to say is not only donate, but get a bumper sticker, because you never know who's behind you as you're driving along and they see AM 1270. Maybe I'll just check that out. You never know what's going on in their life.
Yeah, absolutely.
To listen to on the radio, and they can go to AM 1270.
Exactly. Well, thank you so very much to both of you. This has been wonderful. And folks, again, that number, 1-800-857-2909, 1-800-857-2909 is the number to donate, or online at carolinacatholicmedia.org. Well, folks, we're going to return you to the network programming, EWTN programming, for just a short little bit, but know that we have plenty more guests and amazing speakers, authors, much like Kerri and Ken Davison, coming up for you. So we are going to take you back to the programming right now and be back with more local stuff in just a little bit.
You are listening to the Carolina Catholic Media Network Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon. Operators are standing by right now to take your tax-deductible pledge. Call 1-800-857-2909. That's 1-800-857-2909. Or donate online at carolinacatholicmedia.org. We now rejoin network programming already in progress.